Now, since the blog has a rather self-indulgent aspect, and as I'm at a moment in my life when I'm interested in reflection, where I've been and where I'm going, what do I personally want in theatre at this stage of my life? Well, maybe it's just my age, or maybe I'm also affected by the economic downturn, but at the moment I'm quite interested in simplicity. And when I was at drama school in the 1960s in London, we were all about breaking new ground. We were obsessed with the new innovative forms and multidisciplines. Sounds familiar? Because it's probably the same for all young drama practitioners, always, everywhere. We didn't have the technology then to achieve visually all that we can today, but we did what we could. And after a long diet of mainly social realism or drawing room comedy, we wanted to revolutionise the written form, and we felt fortunate to be the generation of such as Pinter and the inheritors of such as Beckett. Although I was thinking, oddly enough, as a child, the most innovative theatre I ever saw, in fact, was productions of Shakespeare, so I should have guessed even then that there's nothing new under the sun. Anyway, I still enjoy innovation and spectacle and all the magic tricks that theatre can provide, but I also find that I'm personally drawn more and more to the core of storytelling, to a skilled actor or skilled bodies with a great script and a great score on a bare stage if necessary. So somehow at a grassroots level, I would wish for more opportunities for development and support of writers and performers first, and all the other aspects of theatre second, in the hope that if we can maintain a remarkable stable of West Australian writers and performers with an authentic voice, word will get out, excitement will be generated, audiences will follow, and public awareness be raised, and we will have a viable industry, yes, but maybe more importantly, a better and better sense of local identity. And no doubt, indeed, I know that none of these thoughts are new, and they've been voiced by many, especially at consultative processes with government. I wish I could say I knew how it could be done. I don't. My job is to be as creative as I can, to improve and practice my skills as best I can. My motto has always been that as long as I have some creative project in front of me, no matter how small, then I can be happy. And I can honestly recommend that motto, but it's not a motto to assuage huge ambition in a hurry. But for me, one small step at a time has always worked best in the long run, hence my impetus to initiate AgeLink, gathering very personal local stories and interviewing seniors. We first started working with oral histories in 1993, with the belief that everyone has a story to tell, and they do. But it's the manner of the telling of the stories that instructs us, and in which we recognise ourselves and life's patterns. It may be hard to define, and yet where it exists, we always recognise truth in performance. And Perth Theatre does really Perth Theatre does rely on government funding, and we therefore have the bureaucrats. I don't know how to avoid the proliferation of government departments, where it can appear to those outside that those departments exist for their own sake and cost more to run than do the industries they're there to support. But I do know that if there is a divine spark, for me, it's any ability I have to be creative. So please, bureaucrats everywhere, provide and go on providing every opportunity for artists to be creative and then publish that work, not to show how busy you have been, but in order to promote the work itself. We live in interesting times, maybe in dark times, only hindsight will tell, but I was inspired by George Stein's talk at last year's Edinburgh Writers' Festival, which was broadcast on Radio National recently. He spoke of a Russian poet imprisoned under Brezhnev, kept solitary, and worse, in the dark, for 3 years. To occupy her, she translated Byron's Don Juan, well, that's how the English used to say it, Don Juan for the rest of us, a favourite in Russia and which she knew by heart, into rhyming Russian stanzas in her head, all 30,000 lines of it. And when she was freed, she was blind, and she dictated the work, which is now known as the greatest ever Russian translation of that poem. So where is this leading me? I'll tell you when I've found the right page. I don't wish for anyone to have such an experience, even for art's sake. So don't put us in prison, bureaucrats. But what a story. You can't extinguish the human spirit by persecution, and you can't extinguish the artist by bureaucracy. And therein always lies our hope.